Ooh, hello, cobbers. I didn't say hello, coppers. I said hello, cobbers. No one says cobber anymore. They didn't even say cobber when I was a young person. Um, what I'm going to do over the next 6 miserable months, as winter's set in early, so it'll be a 6 month winter, is go back and remake some of my early videos from a few years back, which has only got like 5 views, 11. I think I've only had about less than 30 subs at the time. So I've got nearly 300 or something now. I don't count them. So I've decided to remake the ones, the Australian um, groups from the 60s mainly in my collection. Because I know there's a couple of people out there now like Ben Rankins, to name one anyway, that probably wouldn't be aware of these videos. So I'll do them sort of semi regularly. Um, so to start out, this is just to show you the Australian Record Company Festival. Festival was sort of like an umbrella organisation here in Australia that released all those labels. That's just some of them, you know. Mainly local Australian releases and US, Monument, Coral, uh, Atlantic. The page one was a UK label, but it was mainly Australian releases, and so a lot of what I show uh, in these videos will be things that have appeared on these labels. This is a wonderful George Crotty, rest in peace, who collated this himself, stapled it all together. See, did a bad staple job there. He's a real character. I never met him, but he had a humongous collection of Australian 45s, humongous, and he's named everything that came out on festival from 61 to 69 in this lovingly compiled Bible, you would say. As you know, it only gives you the references of no detail, but it just tells you what the catalogue number was for each record. I'm going to start out with a couple of big hitters here. I've shown anyone that's seen these before, and there won't be many of you that have. I apologise, but here we go. Now this is a label that I absolutely love, and it's very, very, very rare. Now in Australia, there's a show called KOMMOTION, and you might have heard of Molly Meldrum, the guy that discovered ABBA, etc., etc., etc. He was on the show, and it was just they play the pop hits of the day, things like Winchester Cathedral, and he would mime to it, and it was pretty pathetic. But for us kids at the time, that we didn't know what any of these groups looked like, and it took us a while to wake up to the fact that there seemed to be one guy and one girl that sang all these hits from the UK and the US, and we finally realised they were just a couple of schmucks from Melbourne. Anyway, this is the KOMMOTION label. Now, You Stole My Love, which is a Graham Gilman track. I think this was, I think the Yardbirds might have covered this. It sounds like the Yardbirds song. Mike Ferber and the Bowery Boys. Well, Mike Ferber was an English migrant. He came out. They moved to Brisbane, the same place that the BG brothers, the brothers Gibb had moved to, and Pat Alton, produced by Pat Alton. Well, he was an Irishman that came out here and produced a lot of the Australian 60s hit records. Very good producer, very good. This is a track that just, I don't know, it just sounds so damn good. And they only made four releases on the KOMMOTION label, and then it died because, well, the TV show died, and so they folded the label. But I've always loved the look of it. And I think there are only four releases on this label, and the two of them are good, and the other two are just, you know, but so that's one. I've only got two of them, of course, as I just said. And this one, now this is the record I've ever paid the most money for in my life. And I felt like a bit of an idiot, but once I got caught up in the auction, I couldn't stop. There were only two of us in the auction, so you know, who knows? It was a setup, but it doesn't matter. I had to have this so bad, and No Good Without You, the Vince Maloney sec. Well, talking of the Bee Gees, Vince Maloney is a Sydney boy, and his father was a famous tailor on the North Shore of Sydney, and he used to make sort of bespoke suits for pop groups and things. And Vince he looked like a pop star, you know, he was good looking, beautifully dressed. So the Bee Gees brought him on board, and he was with the Bee Gees for 5 years. Not that you notice, because you can't hear any real guitar work on the Bee Gees records in those days. It was in the mix somewhere. But this is a stomper. Now, the original was by the Byrds, Birds. Ron Wood's brother was in that band. This is very washed out lighty. I'm sorry, but that's actually a much thicker font, and it's pink. And here it's coming up sort of purple. So these actually look better in real life. By the way, these are in excellent condition. I don't remember what I paid for You Stole My Love. I would have got it over 10 years ago, but it would have been 30, 40, 50 something. But this one I paid $160 for Australian, about 10 years ago in auction. And I don't regret it, because I wanted this from the age of 16. I always wanted it, and never, ever, you just don't see it in the wild. It just doesn't happen. So I bit the bullet. I had $250,000 in the bank at the time. I thought, well, what's 160? Now I'm an old pensioner that owes the bank 15 grand. 160 is like a fortune to me. So that's it for today. I'll do more in the future. See you later, cobbers.